In this podcast, we continue with Chapter 20, Musculoskeletal Injuries, and we're going to look specifically at Skill 20-3, How do we splint a humerus fracture? We're considering the long bone of the upper arm. So the first thing is to select an appropriate splint. That may be a wire splint, a ladder splint, or a malleable splint like a SAM. We might measure and form it using the uninjured arm as a guide to ensure that we have the proper length. Then we can bend the splint, and it's difficult to see in this slide because it's white, at an appropriate angle, approximately 90 degrees, continuing all the way down the forearm to the crease in the palm at the distal end of the forearm. That's going to help immobilize the wrist. Key idea is we want to securely immobilize this entire arm. Now we can go ahead and place the splint under the arm, keeping it supported, and then secure the splint with roller gauze beginning at the distal end and working proximally. Now, don't use elastic material as an ace bandage that can compromise CMS. The final piece would be to place that arm against the patient's chest and then immobilize the joint above, the shoulder, with a sling and a wide swath. A wide swath, not folded to 4 inches, but maybe folded to 6 or 8 inches, is going to put less pressure over that fracture in the humerus. Alternatively, you can use a sugar tong SAM splint. That is, begin inside the armpit, come down and wrap the SAM splint around the outside so that it encases both sides of the upper arm, the humerus. After that is secured with roller gauze, again, use a sling and a swath to immobilize the joint above, which is the shoulder. If a patient can't tolerate bending the elbow, then you may just use a long, rigid splint with the arm completely straight, and in that case, you need to strap it, perhaps with a couple of swaths, to the body. That will help ensure the securing it and immobilizing the fracture completely.